Hey, Ed here with a little tutorial on how I make a half drop design. And so I took some elements here that I'm going to put together. I may duplicate some and make them different sizes just to fill in a pattern. I don't want too many elements. You can also, of course, just flip them around a little bit. Um, all personal choice, right? So we can flip that maybe. I'm not sure I like the idea of them facing different directions. Maybe I'll get rid of that. I think I do want two of these, but I'll keep those angles the same. I'm holding Control button down as I change it. Otherwise, if I just go to the corner, then it gets out of proportion, but that's another look you can go with if you want to, but I like to keep them in proportion. Important step here, edit, preferences, and in behavior, go to steps, and I like 256 and make sure it's pixels. Okay, that means that when I move things with a click, it goes an exact distance of 256. So that'll be important. I'm going to create a box here to give me perspective. And that's going to be double 256 or 512 and 512. And we want to make sure it has no border. So hold Shift and X. Make sure it says none and that it stays at 512. That 512 is critical. And I'm going to move this to the background and I'm going to make it, a different color so things stand out. Yellow seems to work well. All right, so this is kind of my pattern, my tile I'm going to work from. And the idea of half drop, if it was just a straight horizontal translation, I could duplicate this. And then the next tile, of course, would be, well, let me use my keys. 1, 2. And I could hold Shift and click both and group them. And now they're always the same distance apart. And that would work fine for a horizontal tile. And I could do that infinitely. I guess I'll show that to you for a sec. That would look like, if I duplicate this and click on these, this is how I create a tile. The object clip set. And you'll see what I mean later. I'll do that again, but watch. I'll duplicate. Oh, not those. Let's duplicate the bears. And they just match up. And I can duplicate and they match up. And so that tile would go on forever for just the bears. That's horizontal tiling. But we're going to be a little more sophisticated than that. We're going to do a half drop tile. And so let's get rid of, I'm going to go back a little further here. We're going to go over not just twice, but over twice and down one. Okay, so for this to be an effective tiling pattern, you do want to use, you don't want everything to just be inside this tile, because that doesn't give you that feel, that look. So you want things that are going over the edge, especially big words, big designs. And it's okay if it's over the top. If it's over the top, like that, then you're going to duplicate it and go down. If it's over the side, like this, is both over the side, right here, over the side, and over the top, we're going to do both. Let me show you what this means. So, and I think it's really important to do some of that to make it work. So I'm going to duplicate it and go down. And I'm going to duplicate it and go over 2 and down 1. Now these three Fezzenins are all connected to each other. Let me group them together. They're grouped. So now I can move them. That's kind of nice too, because they maintain that spacing. And that might help later when I'm fine tuning. But let's just see what happens with that now. If I do my clip set, duplicate the square, highlight the Fezzenins together with the Shift key, and object clip set. So now it doesn't look like I have much here, but look what happens. If I duplicate and go down, duplicate and go right, and up one, duplicate, go up, duplicate, over 2, down 1, down. So you might not see the tile pattern, but it's creating an infinite pattern here. And it will be effective later. So maybe we'll keep that. I'm doing Control Z and going back now. And let's go ahead and keep filling the pattern here. Over 2, down 1. This one. Over 2, down 1. This one, let's center that a little bit. Let's put this in here somewhere. This pheasant maybe in here. It's going to take some fine tuning because you're never even sure what it's going to really look like until you produce the tiles. So, and the colors will change later. I definitely don't like the black and yellow unless I was doing Pittsburgh Steelers or something. This is over 2, down 1, and I want to group those together. And maybe remember, if it goes over the top, I got to bring it to the bottom and group those together in case I move them later. And I'm sure this is not going to be my favorite. Yeah, but okay, there's a place to start. Oh, I didn't group these together, did I? Let me make sure I do that. Over 2, down 1, down 2. Let's group these together so I can move them later. I think I need one more of these, maybe over here. All right, so there's a start. Let's go ahead, click the background tile, duplicate it. You're going to take this whole thing and duplicate that because I want to keep that as my template so I can fix it later. And then I'm going to do object, clip, set. So there's my tile. And I will group everything together and let's see what it looks like. Over 2, down 1. And so I'm going to make a bunch of these right now. And where did it go? I lost it. I think this is a pretty good first try. So once I have a group of these made, there's no reason you can't group these together and duplicate that, and it's just faster. So getting a sense of the pattern here. And I think the spacing actually came out pretty good for a first try. I'm sure there are ways to have them all connected, like a tessellation. Oh, I see an error. Do you see the error here? This bear did not connect in there. And that's true everywhere. So let's go back to our original pattern and see where our mistake is. I'm including you with my mistake, but this is my mistake with that bear head. And I can see that this bear head went below, right? And so it needs to be above too. So this bear needed to be up here too. And so I can group these together. And I'm seeing that these are close together. So maybe I'd rather have this up here a little bit, and maybe this over this way. And I just don't like things getting too jumbled together. Now it's not over the up down, it's just left right, and that's okay. This probably could get rid of this bear. And too many of these, I think. What do we think? How about that? Yeah, all right, that looks better. So again, let's take this whole thing, duplicate it, move it off to the side, duplicate the background, and then do object, clip, set. And let's see if it has any errors in it now. Duplicate, over 2, down 1. So it's probably all you need is to just do 3, and then you can do a group again. And then use your arrows. To fill it in. Now I'm noticing that I still don't love my pattern here because I'm seeing a little space here up by the bear's butt, right in there. And what could I add in here to make it look better? This space becomes exaggerated because of the way the pattern works. So something needs to go in there. I think maybe I'll move this up. And then I can move this bear over a little bit. Yeah, you see if I move that so it's centered over here. And so this is over the right, so I gotta go 1, 2, 1. I should connect these two together. Maybe move this up just a little bit more. There, that feels better to me now. Let's get rid of this. New template. I can already tell that I'm not thrilled with the space in here now. Maybe I'll take one more of those and make a bit smaller. There. Let's duplicate everything. You decide how busy you want it to be. Alright, and take the yellow and duplicate it, and object, clip, set, group them, duplicate, I think the best thing is to create maybe a column here of 5 tiles. Of course they're offset a little bit, but I think that's about 4 tiles. Maybe one more here, and one more here. Now this will be easy to duplicate. Control group, duplicate, over 2. There. And if you want even more fabric, take this whole thing, group that, and we're going to duplicate this. And this is a big piece of fabric now that we made pretty quickly. Now let's talk about changing colors for a second. So yellow and black is not my favorite. I lost my pattern here. So I think the best thing to do here, let's go ahead and click on one here. Let's ungroup everything. Ungroup, ungroup, ungroup. Control U, Control U, Control U. I'm going to ungroup everything. Maybe a shortcut for this. Spacing looks good now, right? Nothing's too cluttered together. Looks like it's dropping, doing the half drop well. And looks like everything's ungrouped. So my suggestion to you now is once you have it there, click on a yellow, and it says yellow, and you can do edit, select same, fill color, and then let's make it all red. And then we could do this, click on one of these, edit, select same, fill color, and let's make them all blue. That looks really good, okay? And then we can go ahead and create one more box. That's going to be our export size. Seems like that. I like to get, oh, that's fine. I'm going to clip this now to our final pattern. So we'll do it that size of that top blue box. And we'll do object, clip, set. Go to File, Export PNG. We've made a red fabric with blue background. Choose your DPI. I think you need at least 300 for the selection. 400 might be better. And export as, and put it in here, iLab, logos, Bezier fabric, red, blue, 1. And it will take a little while for it to do that. The DPI, don't forget the DPI. So I just set its destination. I actually have to hit export to make it happen. And then it's going to work on it. We'll just double check that it happens. iLab, the logos, Bezier fabric. There's red, blue. It's still working right now. I don't think it's done yet. 6.8 megabytes. So that's a pretty good file size. So I think that means it's done. Oh, part of it's done. Part of it wasn't. That's kind of funny. Let's wait and see if it's done. But hopefully that's useful. Then you have a file that you can upload and add it to products or make fabric out of it. And it's your custom fabric with a half drop. Hope that helps.